Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Marjorie. In today's video, I'm participating in the unusual Christmas tree DIYs hosted by Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World, Tammy from Happiness Created, Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun, and their guest host is Favi from Arrows DIY. In my first DIY, I've got this picture that I got from Hobby Lobby on clearance. Now you'll see here in a second that there's a crack in the very bottom corner. It's actually in the sorry, I covered it up really quick. But anyways, so I'm taking this and I'm gonna transform it to where I'm taking this is actually the Dollar Tree vinyl, and I'm just placing it over the glass just to kind of help cover up the broken glass part. And I will say I kind of messed up, so please don't do as I do, but I was in a hurry this day and I didn't clean off the glass with a wet cloth like I normally do. Anyways, there were some little granules under the vinyl that that I can see, but it's okay because this is just for me and for my home, so I'm okay with it. But here I'm just taking like this little scraper thing, and I'm trying to smooth out all the edges, and then I'm taking my X-Acto knife and getting that nice clean cut. And here there's a little piece at the bottom that was a little too, that I didn't cut right, and I'm showing a little too much of the, what do you call it, the underneath the vinyl, the original. Sorry for that big glare from my light, but here I've got these little ornaments from, well, I didn't buy them. I had a friend gift me like a ton of, well, they didn't gift me, they just gave them to me because they were going to throw them away. A bunch of these snowflakes and some other red and green ornaments. So this is where I got these from, but you can get them from Walmart. And here all I'm doing is just building up a little Christmas tree. It's just staggering them together. Now make sure that your glue gun is on low so it's not too hot and it won't melt the plastic. When I did it this way, it worked just fine. Now I needed a couple of little finishing touches on here, and so what I do is I took this little piece of wood stick. Now you can get them from your outside or whatever, but this was came from a packet of wood stems from the Dollar Tree, and I just used that. I thought it was a super cute little nice touch to it. And then I made this simple little bow that I'm actually gonna hot glue onto the top of the tree, and then that will be it for this DIY. Now on to the second DIY. I have another picture frame that I got from Hobby Lobby. I was like 90% off, and I love getting my frames from there because you can get some pretty good sturdy frames, and all you have to do is redo the picture. But I got that Merry Christmas stencil from Hobby Lobby as well, and those cardstocks or scrapbook paper came from a book of scrapbooking paper, a Christmas one from Hobby Lobby. And then I have the wood little Christmas tree ornaments from the Dollar Tree. So I'm just taking some black paint, and I am going to give this, I want to say, I think I gave it a couple of good coats. And y'all, I am the messiest, the worst painter. I always somehow get paint all over myself. This is every time I paint, but oh well, I guess that's just how I'm supposed to be. But I do believe I gave us a good couple of coats. And while the picture is drying, I'm just taking and tracing out some of the Christmas tree ornaments on some of the different scrapbooking paper. And then what I'll do is I will just use some Mod Podge and Mod Podge it on to the little tree, the wood tree. So here I'm just putting a good coat of Mod Podge on here. Now I like all my stuff to be matte, but I think this is the satin one, and I got it from Plaid. I'm a Plaid ambassador, and they actually sent me a box of goodies, and this was one of them. So I like to use the satin ones or the gloss ones to Mod Podge the my paper down. And then I typically won't give it a top coat, and if I do, then I'll go back in and use the matte. But here I am, I've got 3 of the different trees, and I am just hot gluing them down to my picture frame. And then I'm just gonna glue the other 2, because I had 5 of them. I guess I should have told you. But I had 5 of them. And I just go ahead and glue the other 2 on top, kind of covering up where the other 3 meet. Excuse me. Now I take this stencil, again I got this from Hobby Lobby. I got it a couple of years ago, I want to say when it was 70-75% off. And I'm just using some painter's tape to kind of keep it down really well for me. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually use, I think it's the Folk Art Sage Green paint, and it is so pretty. And what I'm doing here is just using excuse me, some Mod Podge that was left on the brush, trying to hopefully keep from having it bleed, but it probably wasn't enough because it didn't work. So yeah, either I probably should have used thicker a thicker layer of Mod Podge. But anyways, this is paint, and it had been sitting up for a while, and so I had to kind of just stir it in there. So now I'm just using like a stencil brush, and I'm just kind of doing the up and down, pouncing on it, just to hopefully minimize the amount of bleeding. So as I said, I was participating in this challenge today, so be sure to go down to the description box below, and you can check out the playlist along with the channels of the hosts today. And if you're coming from the playlist, I would ask that you please consider subscribing And if you guys would just leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of the projects. And for those of you that have been following me, thank you very much. I appreciate all of your support. Now I made sure that I gave it a really pretty good thick coat, and maybe what I should have done as well is kind of just waited till it dried a little bit more, but I didn't. So in this third DIY, I just got some of this yarn from the Dollar Tree, and here I'm just wrapping it around, oh, I don't know how many times. I think I want to say maybe 30 times, because this yarn is really thin, so I wrapped it around a pretty good amount of times to make the tassel. And I'm using this little scraper just so that I can make sure that all of my tassels are about the same length. Now what I didn't do is, you know, normally when you make a tassel, on that loop up above, you put a piece of string right up under it, and it kind of gathers those loops together. I didn't do that because I wasn't thinking that I was thinking that was more for the hanging purposes, but I really should have added it there as well, just to kind of keep the loops together all nice and pretty. So this is, yes, yet another frame from Hobby Lobby. And what I'm going to do to this is I'm going to paint this entire thing black. And then I will go back through and glue the tassels on in a staggering manner. That way it will look like a Christmas tree. Kind of like I did with the snowflakes. Now I just used some apple barrel acrylic black paint, and it worked pretty good. The one thing that sometimes about these frames when you do get them from Hobby Lobby is that the design on them, even if you paint, sometimes it'll kind of still stick out and stick through a little bit. But since I put a bunch of tassels on this one, you couldn't really see it. But it does. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell here, but you can kind of see the lines of like the little diamond shapes. So that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can see it a whole lot better there. But again, like I said, I'm putting the tassels on here, and it covers the majority of that up. Now I do start at the bottom because this is actually a smaller frame, so I needed to make room to leave room to make sure that I was able to get all of my tassels on there pretty uniformly. And I thought this was so cute. Now I will say that these trees were, I believe it was Hobby Lobby. They were kind of like the Hobby Lobby dupes. I made these projects several weeks ago, and I was going to post them. I make the video and post it, but then I found out about this challenge and decided that I was going to wait and use them for this challenge because I really wanted to participate. So that's why some of the information is kind of getting lost in my mind. But this is the finished product, and I hope you guys really like it. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you will. And I hope you guys have a blessed day.